This Bryson surgery thing is something it's shaking a lot of people up because I think we saw it. We all saw it as it built up that Bryson was clearly not himself. He went even into Augusta saying he was only at 80%. We saw him in the WGC Dell match play. Just, you could tell it wasn't the normal Bryson. So the question was, we were kind of bouncing back week after week of, is he going to be able to play? You know, is he hurting? We knew he was hurting. I mean, if you go back where this kind of all started, he originally hurt the hand. Believe it or not, he was playing ping pong and he slipped. It was the Asian tour event called the PIF Saudi Invitational. I believe that was back in February. Mm-hmm. He ended up withdrawing after a round, but I think no one kind of knew the extent of the injury. But he had the fracture. He had all our doctors who watch this will probably laugh at my ability to pronounce any of this, but he had a fractured hamate bone in his left hand, and he had a torn labrum. In his labrum in his left.
That one I know.
Labrum. Why? Yep. You torn your labrum?
I've just heard the word torn labrum. It's a popular tear.
Yeah.
So
the hamate.
That's not a fun one.
Yeah.
But from what I gather, he's not doing any surgeries to repair the hip. I think it's just one of those. I think it repairs itself with a little bit of rest. So this is probably the surgery will also have the second added benefit of taking him off the course for a bit, and I think the hip will start to repair itself. But I think the question that a lot of people kept coming back to is he pushing himself too far? You know, here's a guy who's competing every Sunday on the PGA Tour and then was also competing in the professional long drive competitions. And we're like, is this guy just driving himself too far?
Do you remember his workouts, how intense they were for those years of just pushing himself over and over?
Right.
It's a lot.
But I think what he saw, I think he tried to play his way through it. You know, this happened back in February originally. You saw him in March and even into April trying to be in events. And I think the nail in the coffin for him was how he played at Augusta. And he's like, what's the point? I can't play at 80%.
Yeah, right.
You know, and so now he's committed to it. I think it's Bryson. He's going to nerd out on the entire process. He's gonna dive in. He's gonna figure out everything he needs to do to rehab, and then I think he's gonna come back hard. I don't think this is something that we're talking about in a year from now, like a lingering thing. I think this is just bite the bullet, get the surgery done, and then start to work your way back into competition and try to salvage as much of this year as you can.
I think that's it. It sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
You know?
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it, but wish him the best. I saw he had the surgery. It seemed like immediately.
Yeah,
when he decided
right
to,
away,
right?
man.
We saw him. He announced it, and he went like on a Monday. He went to surgery on a Thursday.
He wants to get back.
At that point, why delay it? Saw some pictures, in recovery. But wish him the best. Hope to see him back out there because the reality is, whether you love him or hate him, he is a polarizing guy. He definitely brings a lot of attention to the sport and he brings excitement to the sport. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that all of us as fans can benefit from. So I think it'll be great to see him back out there.
Yeah, can't wait.
All right, so what really happened?
You don't think he fell playing ping pong?
I don't think it was that.
Well, I'm thinking that he probably lost to somebody playing ping pong and punched a wall or something like that. Like nobody just falls playing ping pong and tears their labrum and breaks their hand or whatever.
Well, did both of those injuries happen? I only heard the hand was part of that. I don't know if both happened at the same time.
Yeah, I don't
if
think
any of you guys
related.
know, drop in the comments, clarify because I may have missed this. I thought he slipped. My feeling was he slipped. Maybe it was a slippery floor. I don't know. He fell and landed on the hand and broke it. Broke that. Whatever this bone is one of the small bones in the hand, I guess.
There's so many bones in the hand.
I know. And I would imagine that it might have been one of those ones. And again, if you're a doctor, you can chime in the comments, but I would imagine it's one of those ones that may have healed on its own. But again, it's also a time thing with these guys.
I can't take anything in the wrist for a golfer is good.
Yeah.
Especially someone who swings with power like that. I can't.
But these guys have access to the best health.
Of course.
I'm sure he had the best surgery, and
Bryson's going to be sleeping the next 3 months in a cryogenic chamber.
Yeah.